the Ascension Parish Zoning Commission. Once again, I'm going to go ahead and announce we have two items that have been pulled from our agenda. Item 5A, zoning review ID 1452.06, Tract B of the LeBlanc White Plantation for Stephen Scallon. And item 5B, zoning review ID 1453.06, Tract B of the LeBlanc White Plantation for Stephen Scallon. Let the record show that all commissioners are present. This time I'm going to open up the public comment period. Any item, agenda item, that is not up for public hearing, if you'd like to speak on that, please come up, get with the secretary, sign in, and you'll have your time to speak. Okay, no one wishing to speak during the public comment period. Item 4, acceptance of the minutes of the March 8th, 2006 meeting.
Make a motion to accept.
Second.
I have a motion by Scott Courtwright, seconded by Steve Barrow to accept. Is there any opposition? Motion passes. Okay, item 5C, zoning review ID 1454.06, Lot 3, Magnolia Estates Road for Terry McDowell Boyer.
Hello, I'm Terry Boyer. I'm proposing to rezone a lot from residential to commercial. Do y'all have a picture of the lot, the property, where you can see the surrounding properties? Are y'all looking at that, or they have it? Okay, y'all have it. Okay. Where the property is located now, to one side is a building that is an iron workshop. You can see to the other side is a metal building. To the front of that is a car wash and then a convenience store. The only property surrounding this property, we have one residential property that backs up to it. I would be willing to put up a fence to satisfy that homeowner. That homeowner is on a piece of property that's fairly large, roughly 2.5 acres. I don't have the exact size, but if you look on the map, in comparison to my 1 acre, it's about 2.5 acres. I feel like it should be rezoned because it would be hard to do anything that would enhance the community residential-wise, because what would probably end up on this property is a trailer. You could not warrant putting a very nice home on this property. It's very close to Old Perkins, and because what is around this property, it is kind of already grandfathered in commercial. They're not zoned commercial, but they have commercial businesses on them. So what I would like to do is to put commercial buildings, small commercial buildings, like one to two large buildings, and I think I showed a picture in there of what I was thinking of. Brick veneer, not a metal building, so I want to increase the value in that area visually. I actually live 1.5 miles away from this property. I'm going to keep this building myself and put my own office in it. So I'd like to do something to enhance the area and not, just put up another building or another trailer, which is about what all, a metal building or trailer is about what I would warrant on this property now, by the way it's zoned. I think that's it.
What are the dimensions of the lot?
I actually don't have the dimensions, but I'm guessing roughly 150 by 350. It's not on this particular plat, but it's right at an acre. And it said on my notice that I got, it's 300 feet off of Old Perkins, so I would guess it would roughly be 150-foot frontage.
The property adjacent to you, Kenneth A. Moberly Sr., is that?
Yes, that's to the right of this when you're on the road looking at the property. Right now, he had a trailer on here that was just horrid, and he just moved it off. And this particular building on there is it's horrible, too. It's a metal building. The gables have no material at all. It's open gables. I mean, the structure's probably rotten. In time, I'm sure he's probably going to move that. I mean, in time, something nicer needs to happen on that property. He has no plans right now to do anything with it, but that is a metal building that he houses cars in. He has a car dealership or car business where he refurbishes cars and he stores cars in that building.
Lance, are all these properties currently under non-conforming use? Have any of the property owners ever tried to get together and come for one zoning for all?
No, sir. Mr. Lambert requested his property to be rezoned probably 2 or 3 years ago. It was denied. He has come to the Board of Adjustments and asked for a variance on that lot, and it was granted. And to tell you the truth, what that square footage variant was, I don't remember.
But
But as of right now, nothing.
they've never come together as a group trying to get this rezoned.
I've spoken to Mr. Moberly and to Mr. Lambert and the iron man that owns the ironworks shop, Doucette, Dakota. I do know Moberly is doing nothing with it right now. He has no really plans other than he just wants to house his cars there. I think Lambert wants to try to do commercial because it's facing Old Perkins. Light commercial, kind of like what I was wanting to do. Maybe, like I'm thinking professional offices that would have very minimal traffic, like accounting, or law office. I think that he's thinking like, dry cleaning, maybe a restaurant, depending on what's allowed. But that was kind of his vision on it. I would just love to see something nice go there besides metal buildings and trailers. That would.
And then as you go up Magnolia Estates, it all turns into residential.
It's mostly trailers. And of course, a lot of these trailers have a lot of people living in them. After you, I don't know exactly, but I believe after you pass this Dakota there, this trailers start. And I know on the left side that's the case. By the car wash, the next lot is a trailer.
Any other comments or questions from the commission?
You said that the Moberly and Lambert Cheney properties, have you spoken to them? They're the ones at the corner across from Lambert.
Okay, Cheney Properties, the convenience store. Well, I think he has his little convenience store is doing awesome. I think he's planning on keeping that. I mean, I can't imagine why that would change. Is that the one you're asking about? Yes. Are you asking about the convenience store across the street?
Yes. No. I'm talking about the convenience, the Cheney properties directly across Magnolia Estates Road from Mr. Lambert's. Lot 57.
Yeah, that's yes, sir.
That's
Okay,
the
right now
convenience
that faces Old Perkins, and it is a convenience store, and it does a very large business site. It has a little couple in there that cooks lunches, and it's like a 7-Eleven, if you will, or Cracker Barrel type, no name, but a convenience store. Gas pumps, you can barely see, but that little thing to the left in that picture is gas tanks. I mean, I would hope that he would refurbish the look of it. It needs updating, but I can't imagine that would be changed.
Are you under the impression it has to change ownership or anything to get rezoning? Or to apply for rezoning?
Are you talking about
That's
my
not the case.
My lot, or are you talking about
You keep
convenience
mentioning
store?
that, I can't imagine he would do anything different or,
Well, I can't
Just
imagine
making-
it would be something other than commercial.
right.
But somebody could come in offering him a bunch of money and tear the convenience store down, is it?
Here's the dilemma.
Okay.
You're an interior lot to that development. And what I'd love to see you be able to do is to go back to the owners and see if you can get them to allow you to include them in the application, so we could do, so we could look at all 2, 4, 6 lots together
Okay.
as a rezoning.
I know they would like to do it because it would enhance their property, and they're
There's
already
the-
doing commercial on them.
If I may, there's a reason
Mm-hmm.
that he's bringing that up, and
Okay.
that reason is a little issue called spot zoning.
I mean, what you're asking for, I'm sorry, Michael, what you're asking for is a classic case of spot zoning, and it's going to be very difficult to approve. Where if you get the other the majority of the other ones. Even if Ducote doesn't join in, that would be the least important one. But if you could get the 3 on your side of the road to start off with, and possibly the 2 across the street, to allow you to include them in the application, then
It'd be stronger, be more, you have more.
it'd be more consistent with the whole concept.
Okay.
And then we could look at it in a much.
Okay. I don't think that'd be a problem at all.
Lance, let me ask a staff question. If she takes a deferral, can she come in and do that? And
Yes, if they all come in as a whole, we can go ahead and
just
process
continue it?
that. Yes, sir. Yes.
Well,
Well, she would have to, since we haven't really started the public hearing, she'd go ahead and pull it now, couldn't she?
no, that's good. If you wanted to take a voluntary with 30-day postponement and just pull it and bring it back next month with all of them, these people could actually designate you as their agent and allow you to include the
That's
property.
So they would, as long as I had some signed paperwork, or do I need to physically bring them with me
I would get with Lance and.
on
he
how to
can-
handle that? Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Thank you.
That's just a recommendation from us, because if we move forward with this, you should know going in up front that this is a classic case of spot zoning, which the commission doesn't usually deal
Okay.
with.
Okay, great, thank you.
So, thank you. She's withdrawn.
No,
There was public hearing was advertised, so I don't know if anyone's here to actually speak on her behalf or not, so.
you might as well ask.
Well, yeah. Is there anyone here to speak on this property? All right, please come up here and sign in with the, you're all right, oh, she put it there? Okay.
My name is Jeff Rushing. I live at 18461 Magnolia Estates Lane. I have lived there for over 20 years now. I have assigned from all the nearby neighbors that are closest to where this property would be changed that do not want this changed back, or it never was zoned commercial. It was designated commercial but never zoned commercial. And nobody near there wants it rezoned commercial. Since 1982, this street has been a subdivision, and up till 1999, none of these other lots were developed as commercial lots. There were 4 lots on each side of the street were designated commercial, the first 4. There's 3 commercial structures on 8 lots. So for 17 years, no one wanted to do it, and now the zoning would not allow it without the zoning being changed. The square footage on that lot is 125 frontage and 285 on the depth. In case y'all had someone had asked how wide it was and everything. Mr. Lambert came before this commission 3 years ago and told us he was going to build his law office on the corner. He got his variance and he's never built anything yet. It's still sitting there as a vacant lot. Also, what is getting ready to happen, they're getting ready to widen Perkins Road. He's going to lose about another 10 feet of his property, as is the store across the street. The convenience store is about to lose where the road's going to be right up against their gas pump. So I don't know if he's going to stay in business after that or not, because he's not going to have any way for people to get in and out of his store anymore for the most part. Let me see what's... Mr. Moberly has a shed behind his property, and up until maybe a year and a half ago, he was renting a trailer in front of the property. The trailer's gone now. All you see is his big shed, but I've never seen any commercial activity there in my 20 years. I believe he stores boats or something back there, but not where every day there's records bringing in cars or anything like that. The property is well maintained. He keeps the grass cut and everything. For just an empty lot, he does keep it maintained. We have a car wash next to the convenience store. Then we have an empty lot, and from the rest of the way down on one side of the road is all residential development, trailers, brick houses, everything. We have a total of 57 lots, so you got 3 commercial buildings on 57 lots. What else do I have to say? We know we have a lot of people raising families on this street. I mean, despite what the intentions may be for a commercial building, I don't think we need to rezone, because That opens up a whole can of worms to other things that could be built on that property once it's rezoned. Especially if the three landowners were to get together and maybe build a strip mall or something. There nothing we could do to stop it once it gets rezoned. So as a neighborhood committee, and just representing a few people I talked to immediately, the first four houses on each side, everyone signed this. And to say that it's not, would not be suited for residential anymore, I mean, the man that owned the property lived there from 1985 till December 2004 in a trailer. He had no problem living next to the Ironworks building, which, when it was built, it was not an Ironworks building. I don't recall what it was. Matter of fact, the convenience store wasn't a convenience store when it was built. It was just a big storage unit for someone who had a lawn care business. And the only entrance at that point was off of Perkins Road. He'd come in, get his lawnmowers out. That didn't last long. It turned into a convenience store, and it's probably changed ownership 3 or 4 times since then. And ever since all the commercial establishments at Perkins and Airline with the Walmart, the Mobile Mart, and all that, his business has really gone down from what it used to be. I ain't saying it's not enough to keep him in business, but it's not what it used to be, because it used to be the only store around there. I don't know if this holds any weight. Like I said, I could have probably got everybody on the street to sign one if I had time to go down the street. We had other people here tonight waiting to speak, and they got tired of waiting. So I'd like to present this if I could, and just ask that we leave it as a residential lot as it is currently zoned.
Certainly.
My name is Ray O'Quan. I moved down that street about 6 years ago, and bought it as it's my main residence. My home is my biggest investment that I have, and I feel that if this were to be zoned commercial, that it would take away from the value of my property. Old Perkins Road is already a traffic problem, and any more commercial, I think, would only add to that. There are trailers on several of the lots, but that's not a bad thing, because as time goes on, more and more people are replacing those trailers with homes, and property values are increasing. And I feel like more commercial in that area would kind of make that a step, take that backwards. That's pretty much all I have to say. I'm against it being zoned commercial. That property's never had anything commercial on it, to my knowledge.
Thank you, sir. Commissioners have any questions or comments regarding these comments to these residents?
She's withdrawn it for 30 days.
All right. She has pulled this. She's withdrawn it, and it'll be back on our agenda in 30 days. Next month's meeting. Lance.
If I get the information, I'll put it back on the agenda.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Item 5D, zoning review ID 1455.06, track day for Charles and Anita Kiger.
My name's Anita Kiger, and my husband and I own 10 acres on Highway 42 in Prairieville. And right now, the front 5 acres are considered commercial because it's there on the highway, but on the back 2 acres, we built a commercial building, and we have had a business there since 1989. So it's grandfathered commercial. What we want to do, what we're requesting, is the whole 10 acres be designated commercial. Because right now it's just half and half.
Quick question, Lance. Can you verify the numbers here that we have, that there is over 50% residential? Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I've gotten that information from my GIS department, or from the GIS map.
Thanks.
Any other comments or questions from the commission?
What's your intentions?
Well, I don't plan on doing anything right now to change it up, but in the future, if I want to sell it, I'm going to sell the whole 10 acres. I want it to all be commercial. It'll be easier for me to sell it if it's all designated commercial instead of part commercial and part residential.
Any other comments or questions from the commission? And then at this
Go ahead.
This time, I'll go ahead and open up the public hearing on this piece of property. Anyone wishing to come up and speak may do so at this time. Anyone wishing to speak? Any other comments or questions from the commission?
You know, this is just merely extending that arbitrary line to the property line. I think it's a logical extension of the zoning, and I'm going to move approval. Move recommendation of approval.
Well, I've actually got a couple of comments I'd like to make before we.
Okay.
No specific intent. When we go ahead and do it, and you open it up for potential uses that may not be beneficial. At the same time, where do you, because you saw the percentages, where do you decide that, because the 51% rule does not apply here, because it's less than 50%. So in my opinion, it doesn't apply. That's where do you draw the line? Do we say, well, look, it's only 40%, so we'll go with that? I mean, at some point you have to determine. I don't want to set bad precedents either, and it really worries me right now that there is no intended use for this property with a with a request for a rezoning. Traditionally, the commission has not rezoned property without some intended use.
Well, I agree with you, but let's talk about it from another practical perspective. If she went to the bank to try to mortgage this property, the bank's going to scratch his head and say, go get it in one of the two zoning districts.
Maybe.
Because they're not going to value it either way. Because that's an issue. I mean, that's when a line, in that corridor was established as a corridor, and the number was just an arbitrary number that was applied without consideration of where the property lines are. And that's, I think that,
True enough.
I understand what you're saying, and there's a lot of places where someone would merit if you came in and said, I want to rezone this, there's no corridor there, there's no pre-established commercial district. And I think that at that stage, then yes, you have to clearly demonstrate a purpose. But, I view this as a clarification of a corridor established line with an arbitrary dimension. If someone would have said, make it 50 feet wider, she'd trigger that 51%.
And I agree with you on that. That's one of the issues that I have with this just 660 feet and with no regard for property lines. And that's an issue that we're going to have to deal with, and we've started trying to deal with it in some respects.
Well, we're looking at it in a couple areas of the parish.
Sure, but for right now, we still have to deal with what we've got. But I mean, I'm just looking at what traditionally the stand the commission has taken. Now,
Can I say something?
yes, ma'am.
If the back 2 acres is grandfathered in commercial and the front 5 are already commercial, all it's going to be is just moving the line back, just taking in 3 acres. That's not designated commercial. The 5 is not, the back 2 is not officially commercial, but it's had a business there since 1989. If I go to sell this 10 acres and the business is on the back, then somebody's going to have to, you know, get it moved. And so I'm trying to do it before I sell it.
Yes, ma'am, I understand that. That's also a non-conforming use, and in some respects, that's actually a double benefit for the property owner, because you have a choice of how you can sell your property, which a lot of people don't. Their property is owned one way, and that's it. There is a motion on the floor. There's a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
I second it.
I have a motion to approve by Julio Dumas, seconded by Alan Kraus. Is there any opposition? Motion passes. Zoning, let's see, item 5E, zoning review ID 1456.06, tract F1 of the T.A. Miller Sr. for Roger Mays.
Good evening. My name is Roger Mays. I own Louisiana Nursery in Baton Rouge. In a little over a year ago, we purchased some property, the property on Highway 42, got approval to build a nursery on the corner, kind of had an understanding with Mr. Laverne, and I think Lance may know, that we were going to build a temporary location on the corner. We wanted to get the property open and operating for last spring, which we did. Things going pretty well, by the way, and we're certainly glad to be in Ascension Parish, paying you guys some good taxes, you know. But our plan all along was to build a permanent location. I don't know if you guys, any of you guys, have had a chance to look at the package that I sent out. Just trying to, you know, bring out some of the main points. And the intention was to build the permanent location while we're simultaneously operating the temporary location, and therefore stay open for business. Now, the way I've always had a vision of a more regional, more attractive nursery with pathways and gardens and such. And here's the problem. I've already been to the bank, and if in order for me to get the financing to move forward with this and develop this, my understanding is that I could extend the nursery into the back part of it now, since it's one piece of property. I'm not sure about that, but they're not going to give me the financing that I need unless this parcel would be commercial. Now, this parcel is kind of bordered on three sides by either Highway 42 or Highway 930. It's also tainted to some degree by a pipeline that goes through the property, which covers a pretty large percentage of the actually the back part, which is currently RM, I think you call it. And I need to get this settled so I can move forward with my plan, my original plans and the financing and so forth.
Comments or questions from the commission?
Lance, currently it's 51.8% CC.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Lance, do the parcel lines affect those percentages in any way?
Yes, sir, it would. Once those parcels would be cut out, or once those parcels would be taken out of the whole, yes, sir, the calculations would be recalculated. The square footage would be redone.
Now, also, Lance, I no longer own Track E. I mean, that, you know, so you.
Sure.
Okay, so.
Well, what is your question? Julio, what was your question?
I see these parcel lines, and I was just trying to figure out the percentages are based on this entire trapezoidal. And I didn't know if the parcel lines existed today or
No,
don't.
so they do
So
not.
they don't.
This is just, I guess, future out parcels, like it's stated.
No, that's not been divided.
Any other comments or questions from the commission? I'll go ahead and open this up for public hearing. Anyone wishing to come up and speak on this property, this is the time to do so. Come up and sign your name. Okay, no one wishing to speak. Comments or questions from the commission?
I'll make a motion that we approve the rezoning as requested.
Have a motion by Mike Bardwell to approve,
Seconded.
seconded by Scott Courtwright. Is there any opposition? Motion passes.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. You guys come see us. We're trying to beautify Ascension Parish
knows it
with
goes to
a
the
lot of
council.
beautiful flowers.
This does go to the
Yeah, it
council,
is
you
true.
do
It does-
realize.
I'm sorry?
Goes to the council next step.
This is only a recommendation.
Okay, I understand.
From here it goes to the council.
Right. And I'll find out what I'm supposed to do about that. All right.
Lance is your man.
Item 6A, zoning review. This is a public hearing to consider business park site review. Zoning review 1457.06, Lot 66 of the Ascension Industrial Park for Z&H Investment, LLC. Anyone representing the property?
Yes, sir. Terrence G. Zarain, and we're here before you today to ask you to consider the approval for the business park site, which we have intentions on building a residential commercial glass shop on Lot 66 in Ascension Industrial Park, which we submitted the plans, and we feel that all the proper paperwork has been submitted in accordance with the requirements of the industrial park regulations.
Comments or questions from the commission?
Mr. Chair, I just want to disclose that the applicant came to subcommittee meeting and to go over his proposed development, clarify a few issues on his application.
Okay.
And at the time, we identified the need for a waiver for the dock area, correct, Lance? And the fact that this is really not visible from the public and that the adjacent facilities are consistent with the request.
Okay. Any other comments or questions from the commission? Then at this time, I'm going to open it up for a public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak on this property, please come up at this time, sign in. No one wishing to speak on this property.
I'll move for
Last-
approval. With the variance, I mean the waiver, sorry.
I have a motion to approve from Julio Dumas,
Second.
seconded by Steve Barrow. Is there any opposition? Motion passes. Now, that you do understand, this will go to the council. No, this one doesn't. I'm late. I wasn't saying it before. This is
Just gave you a heart attack, didn't he?
It's,
We will go to the building permit office.
it's late.
And last one.
Got it, Mike.
That's early.
Okay.
Thank you again.
Thanks for waiting.
Item 7 on our agenda, new business. Mr. Brock has some new business.
I just have something. We had I guess a PUD submittal. So they submitted something. So the first step is like a pre-app that they meet with me, and I'll have Charles there. But the next step would be a work session. And what it says is a work session if deemed by the zoning official, and I can tell you that it's going to be deemed by the zoning official that we have a workshop. So if y'all could kind of keep some dates open of when we can have that. So what will happen is that I'll have to put it in the paper to public notice, but, adjoining properties, those type of things won't go out at that point. But I want, y'all to be there. So I just wanted to let y'all know that that'll be coming down.
You send us an email notification?
I sure will. Yeah, and we'll get a
Lance,
place and everything else.
Do you have any kind of idea how long we may need to have for that workshop, whether it should be scheduled on an evening or a weekend or Saturday? I mean, whatever. I mean, I'm just trying to get, this is new to all of us.
I would hope that we would get a weekday evening.
Are we involving Charles Landry in this?
Yes, he will, yeah. And he stated to us that he would, I remember Michael asking him also that if he would be, coming or if he was interested in coming, and he stated yes, he would come. So I think that we would need some guidance from him would probably be good.
Is it too early in the game to ask where the property is located at? So if we get a chance, we can go by, at least look at it, get some idea.
Sure. No, I don't think so. It's located in Sorrento, basically past Highway 70. The road going to the Sunshine Bridge. If you pass that, Shake Snyder property. There's some homes that are there at this point.
We can't meet at my house, so.
Oh, that's
no
right.
idea.
Yeah, because
No,
Alan
that's
lives
good
right
offer,
there. So
Paul Crawfish.
So
that's right. Write that down.
Friday at 9 a.m.
Okay, so it is the Shake Snyder property?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Is that Ron Mingo?
To tell you the truth, I don't know.
The engineer is, I think, Paris.
That's right. That's
Ferris
right.
is the engineer?
Yes.
Okay.
So what will happen is we'll have that pre-conference, make sure those certain things are being met, that it does fit that a PUD requirement, and then after that we will have the meeting, the workshop. And at that, yes, sir.
Pardon, Neil?
And I will. Yeah, it's because of quorum. Yeah. That's fine.
Okay. Let's see what we can work up as far as dates and times
Yes,
and
sir.
so
That's
forth.
what I need.
and
I need that to make sure everybody's
Go
okay
from
with
there.
that, because I don't want to leave anyone out.
No, don't leave anyone out.
No, I do not want to do that.
Any other items of new business? Do we have any items of old business? Well, no items of old business. How about our subcommittee report? What's been going on with the zoning subcommittee?
As Julio stated, the applicants that we just heard came before us and talked about, their site review for Ascension Industrial Park. So we heard that in the subcommittee meeting last month. In addition, we had Mr. Tommy Kurtz with the Ascension Economic Development Corporation come to our subcommittee meeting to address the commission, not the commission, the subcommittee. As you're aware, we're moving forward with looking. It's getting late. We're looking at zoning throughout the parish right now, just evaluating. Started taking that on and looking at it from a commercial standpoint, and just wanted to be sure that, we're getting input from people like Tommy, because he's aware of what applicants are looking for in the parish. So just trying to make sure we've got zoning, and that we're looking at, rezoning and looking at tracks from a commercial standpoint, and what's best for the parish. That's it.
If that's it, then I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Have a motion by Scott Courtwright to adjourn, seconded by Steve Barrow. Is there any opposition?
Hit your yays.
Motion passes.